Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about this week's TV news. This is our weekly wrap-up video where we pick our favourite show of the week and all that stuff, but most of it is just us talking about what happened in the TV news world. And we have some interesting news, some potentially infuriating news.
I would say more than potentially, if it's what I'm thinking.
It is what you're thinking. We'll get to that in a minute. But yeah, that's what we're going to do. As far as new stuff this week, it's funny. I always do every other channel thing where I'm like, oh, this is what's coming up next week. Here's our favourites of the week. I do that all at the end, but for some reason, I like to tell you what we did the previous week at the start. I guess it's just because it's
You look back at the start
Yeah.
and then you look forward at the end.
yeah. So yeah, new stuff this week. We had the double pilot for Time After Time, which is a new time travel show. Then we had the pilot for the comedy time travel show, Making History. Both of those were this week. We've got reviews up of that. Making History was not bad, has potential. Not amazing, but certainly stuff there to maybe look into. Time After Time was pretty damn bad. We started that review as, oh, this is okay, maybe. And then at the end of the review, once we're done talking about it, it's like, yeah, this sucked. We're not watching this
Once we
again.
actually dissected them, once we actually put any thought into it, it was like, nah, this was shit.
Yeah, it fell apart. So, so that was the new stuff this week. So, news. We have actually a lot of quick bullet points at the start of this. There's a lot of just really quick things. First up, good news. Riverdale's been renewed for season 2 at CW. There is no episode amount, and there is no time period. Other than it's going to be 2017 to 2018 season, but we don't know if it's going to come back in the fall, or if it's going to be after Christmas again. We don't know what they're doing with it. I would speculate that it would be the full season this year, except for the fact that
They've got a
CW,
big slate in general.
they have so many new shows and they've renewed so much, and so much of the superhero stuff is all year that I think it probably will just be a short 13 again, which is fine. It makes for a tighter season. It does all these other things. But had that not been the case, I would have assumed this was going to be a full thing next year.
I agree, but this is a weird one. CW really doesn't like giving episode orders numbers, does it? It just kind of goes, yeah, it's coming, and then we find out as it's airing sometimes.
Yeah, it tends to be quite close before we find out what they're doing with it in terms of that. But oh, no, that's good news. And if it is after Christmas, that's also cool, because there seems to be a lot of things that are on before Christmas that end around then. So it's nice to have a couple of things that don't start until mid-season. And
Yeah, and if it is after that, that's nice as well, because it keeps the Thursday evenings a little bit freer beforehand, given that everything is busy before Christmas. It's the busiest time of year.
would you stop
isn't it?
hinting at what the later news is
Oh,
going to
I'm
be?
not even doing that in general. I mean, in general, September, October is pilot season.
Yes,
October,
yes.
all the CW shows typically come in October, so this would be in there. We've got Stranger Things this October because Netflix are dicks.
Yes.
It's just busy.
It is very busy. It's very busy. More on that later. CW have also renewed the 100 for season 5. Not that we cover that, but I've seen this as well, so I'll throw it in. For anyone who watches the 100, you get season 5 out of it. Taboo has been renewed for season 2 by FX and BBC. They didn't give it a date. They did give it 8 episodes. It's going to be 8 episodes again for season 2.
Yeah, I know. I saw a few comments by Hardy saying it would be bigger and more explosive for the second season.
But I've got a feeling that that's not going to be one that's going to stick to a yearly schedule, because it's Tom Hardy and he's got a lot of movies to do, so they're going to have to work around when
It
he's
is,
available.
and BBC are a lot like that. British television in general is kind of just as and when it hits.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Arguably, yes.
It is annoying. Come on, I like it, but and another thing is US TV's starting to creep into this territory where it's like, oh, we'll have 16 months before the next season. It's like, stop it, you assholes.
See, I don't always mind it.
It's frustrating. I'm a man who likes a consistent schedule.
I do. That's why I'm torn. I like the consistency, but I also like it just be ready when it's ready. Don't give me
Don't get me wrong.
Product.
I don't want them rushing anything and it's suffering as a result. Of course not. I would never want that. If it takes 2 years to make a great season, take 2 years. But it's still annoying.
Yeah.
Because I want it. Alright, so Taboo, yes, season 2 of that's coming. So some premiere dates. Preacher, season 2 has a date. And I'm going to praise Preacher for coming back when I expected it to come back. It's coming back on June 19th. That's when season 2 hits.
Oh, good. So we will have a few things over the middle of the summer period.
At
then.
least one.
Okay. Nothing on Outcast yet.
Nothing on Outcast yet, but Preacher at the very least will be on in June. Although Preacher was on Sunday last year, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, it's Monday this year. June 19th is a Monday.
Oh, okay.
Not a big difference, but worth noting.
Maybe it was Mondays. I don't know. They're kind of close enough in the week that.
Yeah, I'm sure it was Sunday. I could be wrong though. Maybe it was Monday. Maybe my memory's just muddling it. But yeah, so that's that. Game of Thrones season 7's got a premiere date of July 17th.
I thought it was the 16th.
Is it? Maybe I've typoed and wrote down the wrong number.
Because I actually watched the trailer.
Wait. Alright, I'm checking the calendar. I'll see. Obviously, it's going to be a Sunday, so whatever one's the Sunday is the correct answer.
I could have sworn I saw 16th at the end of the trailer.
Nah, you're right. It's 16. That's a Sunday.
Yeah, there we go.
Regardless, middle of July. That's where you're getting Game of Thrones.
Even later than expected, because obviously we were told it was being pushed, but we were, I think we were expecting June, but seemingly one of the actors mentioned in an interview about a week or two ago, he accidentally leaked July and was saying that some bad weather pushed it back a bit.
Well, I don't think that's too, at least in terms of our schedule. Not that I'm doing Game of Thrones, because I don't watch it, but at least in terms of like our reviews being going out, I feel like there's a lot of stuff that will be ending in June, so July is maybe a good time for it in that sense. Obviously, for people who are just desperate to have it back, yeah, sure, it's an extra month. But the next news story
hurts far more. I know what's coming.
Hurts me far more. So Mr. Robot Season 3 has a premiere month. It doesn't have a date. They didn't give a date. They just give a month.
And here's a hint. It's not July.
It's not June. It's not July. It's not August. It's not September. It's October. This is rather bad news for two main reasons. One, I'm desperate to have it back, and it's like an extra, 3 months? Aye, 3 months.
Yes, I can't do months.
3 months.
Months are my downfall. Years too, I suppose, but...
Yes. But, yeah, so 3 extra months, which just sucks in that I want it. And it also sucks because that was the big, exciting thing in the middle of the summer was new Mr. Robot. And now it's in October where, as we've already said, it's so busy. There's so many new pilots, there's shows coming back, there's Stranger Things on Netflix.
July has actually been ruined because July is my birthday month. So I typically go, oh, I like July. I like having good TV. And then last year we had Mr. Robot and Stranger Things in July. So it's like, oh, next July's looking good. We'll have those again. No, neither of them. Because everyone's just bastards.
Yeah, I mean, I think Twin Peaks is still on at that point, but July and August are looking a bit anemic at this point.
They are.
Hopefully someone will announce something for that time period that'll cheer
Please.
us up.
Quarry would be nice.
I don't even know if that's been renewed.
I don't think it has. I haven't seen anything about it.
Which is worrying because it's been a while now, and if it's not been renewed...
I think it might be too long.
Yeah.
Definitely too long to hit the summer period.
Oh, yeah, definitely. So... Yeah, Mr. Robot's coming in October. A couple of little tidbits. BD Wong, who's on the show, has been up to a series regular, and they've also cast Bobby Cannavale, who's going to play Irving, and a laconic, no-nonsense used car salesman.
Interesting.
So, don't know how he'll fit into it, but we'll see.
I'm sure it will be interesting.
I'm sure it will be.
Bloody October, though.
I know, October, like... I mean, August would have been fine. Like, August would have been like, it's still summer, still quiet, big thing.
Yeah, October's a slog in general for us with so many pilots. It's a hard month to get through. And yeah, this won't be a chore to get through. Don't be wrong. It's like it's finally back, but it'll be a little bit bittersweet knowing that it'll just be at the end of marathons of pilots that we have to do it.
On the upside, though, given that Stranger Things is in October, I feel like Netflix won't put out Black Mirror in October again. That might be somewhere else. So at least we don't have that to also do in October. As much as I want more of it, don't get me wrong, it's just a case of, holy crap, October's stuffed. It's like
such a busy time of year anyway, and now they're moving extra things there. What are they doing to us?
From summer. They're moving things from the ones that have very little...
the dead zone.
The one exciting thing in the dead zone has been moved. It's really upsetting. Alright, let's move on to some... other stuff.
It's worse as well, because Star Trek's going to be then as well.
Well, late summer, hopefully August. I'm hoping
not,
August.
I'm convinced it's going to be October now.
Oh no,
Just because
no! Please be August. We can't have that start in October as well. Come on now.
I can picture it. It's just happening.
Because at least if it starts in August, it'll still be
Overlap
on
a little bit.
it'll overlap a little bit in October, but anyway, let's move on. Speaking of Star Trek, I don't know if you'd meant that, but
I didn't. I have no knowledge of the order that you put these in.
we have another bit of casting for Star Trek Discovery. Jason Isaacs has been added to the cast. He's going to play the captain on the ship. He is Captain Lorca, and he's captain of the Starship Discovery, which is the ship.
I love Jason Isaacs, so I'm all for this.
I like him. And we know he's going to be in the OA season 2 as well, so we're going to be seeing a lot of him popping up late this year.
I'm more than okay with that.
Into early next year. Yeah, that's cool. And we know that he's not the protagonist, though, or he's not the main character. The main character is actually the lieutenant, or whatever her rank was.
Yeah.
But he's going to be the captain on the ship. But it's solid casting. He's probably the biggest name that they've got.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Because I think he's the only one that I've went, yeah, I know him.
Yeah, there's been a few where they've gone, oh, they're in this, and they're this person. I've gone, oh, okay. But Jason Isaac, you just say his name, it's like, okay, yeah.
Well, yeah, the others, it's like, oh yeah, I'll take your word for it. They were in these things, but
yeah,
I don't know their face, I don't know their name. So, speaking of casting, Scalped has rounded out its last 3 major roles. Gil, and they've all got descriptions here, so bear with me as I read these. Gil Birmingham has been cast as Chief Linking Red Crow, who is the main character as far as I'm aware, from all the descriptions and stuff. The controversial chief of the Prairie Rose Reservation, formerly an idealistic activist, Red Crow orchestrates the opening of the casino on the Res, believing it to be the key to his tribe's future and redemption for his own dark past. But the casino proves to be a Pandora's box, with Red Crow struggling to keep in the Resi's salvation and not its demise. There you go.
Cool.
He was in Hell or High Water, in case you're wondering.
Who was he in that?
It doesn't say, it just says he was in Hell or High Water.
Oh, okay. I'll know his face then.
Yeah, you'll know his face when you see him.
Yeah.
Oh, it's probably Jeff Daniels' partner. Jeff Daniels, Jeff Bridges. Jeff Bridges, not Jeff Daniels. Yeah. It'll be his partner, because he was Native American.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And half Mexican. That was a running joke, because he kept making jokes about one.
Joke.
And he's like, when I run out of jokes for this half, I'll start making jokes about the other half.
Good film.
That's a good film. Yeah, that makes sense. That's cool. Next up, we get Irene Bedard, who's been cast as Gina Badhorse. A legendary activist and the public face of opposition to the Red Crow and his casino. Her efforts and ways are helping her people stand in dark opposition to Red Crow, despite their intimate and secretive past together. Oh, there you go, some secret connections. It's starting to feel like Twin Peaks. In the face of Red Crow's success with the casino, Gina begins to realise that defeating him requires adopting his dark tactics. Oh my. I'm really getting the feeling this is not going to be a cheery, upbeat show. I'm getting a lot of backstabbing and violence and.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Scalped's the Jason Aaron comic, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it's not going to be cheery and upbeat.
And then Chask Spencer has been cast as Sheriff Falls Down. Now I get they've all got their Native American sort of titles, right? But this one I think is really funny.
I preferred the last one.
Oh come on, Sheriff Falls Down.
I mean, it's good, but the last one was a cooler name.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying this is a cool name. I'm saying this is a more silly name. Sheriff Falls Down.
Yeah. Okay.
Right, the local sheriff, with a deep investment in the res and its people, his wry, easy manner obscures an edge and keen intelligence. There is no love lost between Sheriff Falls Down and Chief Red Crow. Everyone hates Chief Red Crow. He's going to be at war with everyone in this. But there is a mutual respect. Oh, maybe not. There you go. He's an ally.
There you go.
He's a reluctant ally. There you go. That's the 3 sort of last.
You can tell you hadn't read that ahead of time when you changed your mind halfway through.
That's because that was one of the things I added, and because I did most of this news earlier, and then I looked for anything else that popped up today just before we started, and I didn't read that stuff as thoroughly. I just kind of threw it in. So
I'll read on the spot. I'll be fine.
Well, it was fine.
It was. It's just showing that you did not read it ahead of time.
If anything, I think that went smoother than half the shit I do read ahead of time.
Disappointingly true.
It's cool. The show's shaping up. It'll be interesting. Hopefully it hits those.
It actually feels like it's going to happen now, which for a long time it didn't.
Well, it's in this weird. Cause I don't think it was one of these shows that was constantly being talked about. It was just kind of like, oh, it's been ordered to series, and then we didn't hear about it for a year and a half. And
That's the thing. Like, it was so long that you kind of just assumed that it had been forgotten.
But apparently not. Maybe they were just waiting for the right season. Maybe they were waiting. Maybe they were waiting on a couple of cast members they wanted. I don't know. I mean, just because they are announcing casting, that doesn't mean they just made the decision. I mean,
yeah, that's true.
Because sometimes it feels like they announce casting like really soon to when like a guest stars in an episode, but it's because they actually did it weeks and months ago. They're just announcing it now.
Even to the point like the Star Trek one we just talked about, that's shooting already.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
so
Jason Isaac, he must have been cast before this.
Yeah, he's already been on set most likely, but we hear about it now because they want to like spread their information out, and it's a way of building excitement, isn't it? Because you keep it in the public's mind by just every so often releasing another tidbit.
Just remind them that it's still coming. That it's on its way.
For whatever, it must have just been an internal delay thing. We're like, all right, we don't want to do this yet. We're going to do it next year, and then they just held it back. And
it was just one of those cases where, because you didn't hear about it for so long, you just assume it's not happening anymore. I feel like there's a lot of things that happens to.
Yeah, it does. But I think there's some stuff where I know that I had trust in this specifically because I didn't really have any knowledge of people involved or attachment to it. But I think there's some stuff where you look at it and go, that's definitely going to happen eventually. It's just because you know the people well enough involved that they take their time, but eventually they do churn out whatever it is. Case in point, Avatar 2, which just got delayed again. I'm pretty confident that will still exist. It's just Cameron's.
You're assuming he won't die first.
That is dark.
Well, that's how long it'll take to get these films.
That's not. He's working on it 24/7 now.
So he says.
He's full steam ahead.
He says that, but I'm sure give it 3 months, he'll be off in a submarine somewhere.
Nah, he's a determined man. This cool to bash Avatar. I'm not a fan of it.
I'm not being cool. I've never been that into it.
Oh, I know you're not cool. You don't have to tell me that. But but anyway, yeah. So let's move on to other things. So this is actually casting. Although honestly, I don't know if we've talked about this show before. This may be the first time we've talked about it. I feel like I'd remember this, but I'm struggling to. Is
this a show you just missed one point, or is it something that's been in gestation so long that we never covered it back then?
I don't think it's been in gestation that long. I think it's either I missed it when it was announced and I've caught it in my net here, or I don't know. But
okay.
The actual news is that they've got a bit of casting. Eliza Scanlon has been cast in it, but she's a kid actress. She's going to play the little sister of the main character. But it's a HBO show. It's going to be an 8-episode limited series called Sharp Objects.
Doesn't ring any bells.
And it stars Amy Adams. Which is why I feel like I'd remember it.
See, I do vaguely remember hearing about a HBO show with Amy Adams, but not from on here. I think I vaguely remember seeing it at some point.
Okay. So, anyway. And it's also written by Martin Oxon, who was a writer on Buffy, which turned 20 today, by the way.
Aye.
It's Buffy's birthday, which makes me feel old. That show's now 20 years old. Pilot aired, or Welcome to the Hellmouth aired 20 years ago today, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, so it's based on a book by Gillian Flynn. Martin Oxon's writing the whole thing. So it centers on a reporter played by Adams named Camille Preaker. Fresh from a brief stay at a psychiatric hospital, Camille must return to her tiny hometown to cover the murders of 2 preteen girls. Trying to put together a psychological puzzle from her past, Camille finds herself identifying with the young victims a bit too closely. And then Scanlon, who's been cast, will play Amma. That's a weird name. I wonder, is that a typo? Have they typoed the name Emma? It's AMMA.
Oh. Feels like it might be, but I don't know. Maybe there's a name we've just not heard of.
Amma. The 13-year-old half-sister of Camille, having grown up in the small town of Wind Gap, Missouri. Wind Gap. God, they were really... I don't know if this is a made-up town for the book or if this is a real place in Missouri, but either way, whoever named this...
I'm willing to buy it because, I don't know, sounds like the sort of name I'd hear in somewhere like Missouri.
Sounds like a posh name for a fart.
It does, actually.
She lives a double life as a restrained and girlish daughter when at home with her parents, but as a brash, impetuous teenager when out with friends.
So, very normal teenager then.
But yeah, so that's a thing that's happening. Sounds okay. I'm
into it.
I'm intrigued. I like Amy Adams.
I take it we haven't even got a window on that one.
Oh no window.
Oh, all
no
right.
window.
See you in 2 years then.
I'm gonna be kind. 2018. I'll see you in 2018.
Okay.
I'll be kind. All right. Next up, Netflix has boarded its second South Korean produced TV show.
Oh.
And we haven't had the first one yet. In case you're like, where did the first one happen? It's not. It's just they've greenlit 2 of them. The first one's not till 2018 either. But it's called Kingdom, and it is a period zombie thriller.
Oh, I'm in.
And it's going to be by Kim Song-hun, who directed last year's hit movie The Tunnel, which I have not seen. I've never even heard of. I looked it up after I read this article. I was like, oh, Korean movie I've not heard of. I'm intrigued. It's about a guy who gets trapped in a tunnel by himself. And has to like fight his way out. He's there for however long. It sounds okay, but it was a hit in Korea last year, and he's going to direct the series. So it's 8 episodes. It's going to be, and it's set in Koreaville. I combined the next 2 words there. I told you that these ones that I've read before are worse.
They're awful.
It's going to be set in Korea's medieval Joseon dynasty. Apologies if I mispronounced that. Where a crown prince is sent on a suicide mission to investigate a mysterious outbreak. It's coming in 2018, globally as usual with Netflix. The other Netflix Korean series that they've already got in the way as well, it's called Love Alarm, which is set for 2018. I don't know what that's about.
I'm down for this a lot. It sounds great.
Zombies and well, I was going to call it feudal Korea, but that's not quite right. Feudal Japan. It's not.
The Korean equivalent.
Yeah, it's medieval Korea. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, do you know what it is? I don't really think of the other Asian countries as having like. Oh, China has. It's like a. I don't know what you call that period, but you know when it was in the factions. From Hero and stuff like it has that history. I'm not super knowledgeable.
I guess like Mongolia and Tibet, it's all split up, and there are all these factions there.
Yeah,
that kind of period.
And obviously Japan has feudal Japan, which constantly we get movies about samurais and stuff like that. I don't know anything about Korea's history like this. Korea for me started in like the 50s. I don't know anything about Korea before that.
I like how else I've never thought of. They referred to it there as Korea's medieval period, and then the name. I don't think of medieval as anything but England. Weirdly, when I think medieval, I think like knights and.
I wonder if that's just not what they would call it. I wonder if that's just there to describe to us what they mean by this period.
I think it is, but I've just even for like Japan, I've never considered it as like we'd never say medieval.
No, if someone says medieval, I'm thinking of knights and castles.
Exactly.
You say a feudal Japan, I'm thinking of like their temples and like samurai and katanas and stuff. You say Celtic maybe, and I would think of like Scottish and Irish history and that sort of stuff. But that sounds good. Zombies in historic Korea.
Sounds cool.
It's funny though that a zombie show is going to be how I discover what Korea's history was like. All right, we're getting a movie version of Hannah. Remember Hannah? It was a movie that came out about 5-6 years ago, starring Saoirse Ronan.
You just said we're getting a movie version of Hannah.
Did I? Oh, sorry, a TV.
Which is why I was really thrown off.
Oh, a TV version of the movie Hannah.
Okay. I do have a vague recollection of it. I never saw it.
I never saw it either. But David Farr is writing a new TV show version of it. He was behind the Night Manager, which BBC and AMC did. And he also co-wrote the movie, as a matter of fact. And so he's working on Hannah, and there's no network yet, but it's with NBC Universal. So you would expect that it would probably end up on one of their channels, but
yeah, not necessarily though.
Not necessarily, but they'll get first pass at it.
Yeah, definitely.
You imagine. But yeah, the film is about the daughter of an ex-government operative who turned into a killing machine and then used all of her assassin skills to try and reunite with her father. So that's what it is. I have almost nothing to say about this.
I don't even know if the movie was any good. I didn't really see it.
Yeah, nor do I. I think it has its fans. I don't remember it being critically like panned or anything like that.
I just with the same talent attached at the writing level, I feel like it's fair to actually judge it a little bit based on your knowledge of the movie. It's fair to judge what you can expect of this on it.
Hmm.
Which usually, obviously, you can't. Maybe they're from the same idea, but completely different talent.
But then you wonder, like the writers working on it that co-wrote the movie, like was he unsatisfied with the direction that was taken with his script? And this is like his second shot. Is this like a Joss Whedon Buffy thing almost, where they took my script and they did something else with it,
yeah,
and I want it to be this. And in TV, writers tend to have a bit more sway, a bit more control if they're show running it.
Yeah, definitely.
So yeah, maybe something like that. All right, next up, HBO and BBC are teaming up for a new project, an 8-episode drama called Shibden Hall. It's going to be written by Sally Wainwright, who I've never heard of, but she did Happy Valley, which was a thing recently. I know it exists, I've heard of it, but I really couldn't tell you what it's about. It's set in West Yorkshire in 1832.
Oh, you hate this already, don't you?
Oh, I so do. Shibden Hall is the story of a landowner, Anne Lister. Returning home after years of travel, Anne is determined to transform the fate of her faded ancestral home in Halifax. To do so, she must marry well, but she has no intentions of marrying a man. She plans to marry a woman. Nope. A period drama, nope.
And it's not just any period drama. This is a BBC period drama.
West Yorkshire 1832 sounds like a fresh kind of hell that I do not want to participate in.
I know the accents far too well, and I don't want it on TV. I had enough of that in real life. Thank you very much.
Oh God, yeah.
There's a lot of these co-productions lately, though, isn't there? That's BBC and HBO. We had BBC and FX. You just mentioned the Night Manager, which was BBC and AMC.
Yeah. Was that BBC? I thought that was ITV, actually, now I'm thinking about it.
No, I'm pretty sure it's BBC.
Was it? Okay. Never mind me. Alright, so last up in the news then. One last thing. Amazon's developing an untitled limited drama about an all-girl rodeo. Comes from writer Jill Soloway, who was one of the people who worked on Transparent. She's producing it rather than writing it. She may be writing it as well, but she's producing it. And it's written by Cassie Pappas. It's a period drama set in 1942. While the men are away fighting during World War II, women in a small town, Texas, form the first all-girl rodeo, riding to an unprecedented fame and fortune as long as they can hold on.
I could not care about this any less if I tried.
It's a period drama about a subject
horse riding
that I don't particularly care about. So yeah, that's we're going to try and play our game where we name this. It's
Is it even interesting enough to warrant a name?
I mean, you never know. The quality could be high, so then it wouldn't matter what it's about. That's always a possibility.
It's a possibility. No names spring to mind, unfortunately.
I'm trying. Nah, nothing's coming to me. That's the news. That's us done.
Just something. Always Sunny wrapped up its 12th season this week.
All right.
Aye, it's getting up there. But one of the cast members may not be returning, and no spoilers. Obviously, it leaves it in a place where they can come or they can go. But interviews have actually spoken to Glenn Houghton, who plays Dennis, and he's saying he doesn't know yet if he's going to be coming back. It's up in the air as of right now.
Is it because he's got other things he wants to do, or
he's in a pilot for a comedy somewhere else, and it's just he wants to do that. Apparently, he's not sure yet. I think it's scheduling, by the sounds of it.
And yet, Caitlin Olsen is pulling double duty. She's on a Fox show.
Yeah, but maybe he's got other stuff on top of that we don't know about yet. He made it very clear to say it's nothing to do with relationships. There's no problems with any of the group. It's just he's got other stuff that he wants to look into, and he doesn't know if he can fit it in.
And after 12 years, he's thinking maybe I want to do something different.
It's fair enough at that point, isn't it?
Well, there you go. Always sunny. All right. So, what was your favourite episode of TV of the week?
Supergirl, actually. I think it was so nice to have it be a great episode. It was very, very timely and relevant. And I loved every bit of that episode, pretty much.
I respect that pick, and I would probably go with it if Legion wasn't so good this week.
It was a very good episode of Legion. I can't argue with that.
Yeah, Legion was creepy, it advanced the characters, gave us a better sense of the plot, but it was just...
It was just... I'm picking Supergirl just because it's nice to be... the first time since Christmas that I feel like it has a chance that I can pick it. It's been a long time since it's had that feeling.
Yeah, cool. There you go. That's favourite picks of the week, and I'll tell you what's coming next week in terms of new stuff. There was a comedy that was meant to be last week, but at some point it got pushed to this week, and that is Trial and Error. That's coming on Tuesday. John Lithgow's in it, so we're going to try that. Obviously, as with all sitcoms, we do the first one and we don't do any more because there's not really much to say week to week about a sitcom other than just talking about the jokes. So, but we'll try the first one and see how it is. Also, now technically, the next news will be recorded at least before this happens, but it's always a bit sketchier because Netflix shows hit on a Friday and our news tends to be on a Friday, but we try and record it a day in advance for when there's a Netflix show coming because we know we're going to be busy. But next Friday we have Iron Fist launching on Netflix from Marvel. It's their fourth show before the come together of the Defenders happens.
Can I just say my favorite thing about the marketing for this show is they're referring to him as the last Defender, which is a really nice parallel to the first Avenger. I mean, maybe that's a worrying sign based on the quality of that movie, but
I think you've upset some people there, Carl.
I think I probably have.
Because as much as we both dislike Captain America: The First Avenger, it does have its fans. I don't understand it.
I don't quite understand who these people are, but you do you.
Yeah, so that's coming next Friday. It's the reviews. Some reviews went up this week, and it's not looking too hot, which is making me.
It's concerning. I was feeling it, and based on the last trailer, not before that, but I was kind of digging the last trailer with the music mainly. It was giving it a nice tone, and I thought, do you know what? I'm gonna go read the Immortal Iron Fist run of Fraction of Brubaker that gets talked about a lot.
Yeah.
So I've been reading that this week, and I'm like, this is great. I'm starting to look forward to this show. And then the reviews started coming in.
Yeah, the reviews are not looking promising, and I wasn't even excited about it from the trailer. I was never really.
You've never been into this show from the announcement of the original 4 shows. This was always the one you were the least keen on.
Yeah, always. So the fact that it's getting bad reviews and they're saying it's not even just good. There's not even like, if you like this kind of thing, you'll like it. It's just poor. Is a bit worrying. I mean, maybe we'll be surprised, maybe we'll watch it, maybe because it is worth mentioning all the reviewers only got the first 6 episodes, so even though it would be extremely out of character for one of these Marvel Netflix shows to get better in the second half, because none of them have done that, you never know, it's possible.
It might buck the trend. You just don't know, do you?
But obviously we're still going to do it, we're still going to try it. I will say that if it ends up being really bad, we'll probably still finish it, but we'll go much slower than we would have done had it not been bad. But obviously that'll be something to judge after a couple of episodes next Friday. But also next Friday, also from Netflix, is a Japanese show called Samurai Gourmet, which is a complete wild card, but I'm looking forward to it.
We don't really know much about this. We were kind of just looking into what's coming up on Netflix one night, and we saw this, and I was like, this sounds absolutely insane. We need to try it.
Yeah, so we'll do Iron Fist episode 1, but then we'll not be going straight on to episode 2. We will be doing episode 1 of Samurai Gourmet after that, and then we'll see how things go once we've sampled both shows. But yeah, annoyingly, Iron Fist, even if it's bad, gets this kind of weird like pass where we kind of have to watch it because it's part of the whole Defenders Marvel Universe stuff that we cover all of. So
yeah,
kind of like how we still put ourselves through Arrow despite. Not really.
Just because they do these crossovers and it still plays into everything else, the bastards.
Yeah. And as much, I'm sure you could watch Defenders in the summer and it would be fine.
But we can't do that to ourselves, can we?
But we're
completionists.
Yeah, we're both completionists and we just can't do it. We need to finish it. So we might as well do videos and talk about it. So, but hopefully it's not as bad as it maybe seems right now.
I will say, this has put my expectations so much lower that now even if it is like half decent, and it's like, oh, this is all right, it'll be a pleasant surprise.
There was a clip of a fight sequence that they put out that I've not seen yet, but I saw people talking about it and they said the fighting was bad. And if the fighting's bad in it,
Oh, okay, that would be weird for this show.
yeah, so it said it was overly
That would
edited.
be
I think was
especially weird given that some of the other fight sequences in the other Marvel shows have been phenomenal.
Oh yeah, Daredevil's fight scenes were great.
Yeah, so that would be weird. The actual martial arts one has dodgy fight scenes would be so strange.
But we'll find out. We'll find out next week. So you can look forward to that. And remember, when we do episode 1 reviews, when we start that next Friday, we always start episode 1 reviews spoiler free, so you can come in for the first video and just see what we think before.
We're planning on having that up nice and early after the show goes live, if all goes to plan.
Yes. It goes up at midnight Pacific, and we will be up and tired probably, but doing it regardless. So look forward to that. But that's the news video this week, guys. Thank you for watching. Let us know what you thought of this week's news. Like and subscribe and all that stuff helps us out a lot. Get us on Twitter at mild_fuzz. You can get our individual Twitters on the screen for general ramblings, the main ones for channel updates. But that's us, guys. So thanks very much for watching, and we will see you next time.